What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another This Week in Gaming. This is my weekly gaming news show where I talk about the latest news in the gaming industry. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. tune in to hear about the latest news that has happened over the past week. So let's get you caught up of what has happened in the last week in gaming. So just a quick update before we get started. I'm doing this video again with gameplay rather than me being in front of the camera. Let me know in the comments below what you prefer, if you like the gameplay or if you'd rather me be in front of the camera when I'm doing my weekly news videos. So let's jump right in here with Battlefield 5. It looks like Battlefield 5 is going to be a pretty big disappointment in terms of sales, at least from the pre-orders. So there was a report that came out from the Cowen group, which is an investment firm, and they're saying that pre-orders for Battlefield 5 are lower than expected, and they're about 85% behind other games such as Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Assassin's Creed. Now for Battlefield, generally from what I've read is that they're usually clocking around 20 to 40% behind Call of Duty if there is a Battlefield release during the year. So this is a big drop to that 20 to 40%, and the group thinks that Battlefield 5 won't even be able to meet that 13 to 14 million copies sold that EA has predicted. Now, when I first heard this, I was in complete shock about this. I'm thinking to myself, well, they announced the game and they said that there will be no paid DLC and everybody will be getting all DLC throughout the lifespan of the game for free. Whereas Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has a lot of anti-consumer stuff right off the get-go with the Black Ops Pass and the COD points, where they're splitting up the user base with these tactics. And that to me sucks. But then I started thinking about, remembering about the Not My Battlefield thing and the woman in the game and the stir-up that caused, and then EA coming out and Patrick Soderlund saying that if you don't like it, just don't buy the game. And the consumers have responded and they're not pre-ordering the game and they probably won't buy the game. To me, it was a very bad move on EA's part to do something like that. Like, you shouldn't be attacking your fans who are going to go out and make this game worthwhile for you to make by saying don't buy the game if you don't like it. There's definitely a lot of different approaches you can take to these people who are upset that they think that the game isn't true to life, to the world, to World War II with the woman in the game and the role that they're playing in it. Personally, I don't care that much about that. Honestly, the fact that Battlefield 5 has DLC that's free for the entire year, if the gameplay is amazing and it's a great shooter, I really don't care if I'm playing as a man or a woman. I'm just happy that I'm not having to pay for DLC or pay with COD points or things like that with microtransactions to play the entire game. So I probably will be picking up Battlefield 5, and to be completely honest, I probably will be picking up Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as well, because I do love those games, and I've also pre-ordered them at a very cheap price because there was those deals after E3 where you could pre-order them and save about $40. So I have those both on pre-order. I'll probably be keeping them to play them both. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. I mean, it does make sense that people have boycotted it because they were told not to buy it. And like I said, you shouldn't really be attacking your fans, but let me know if you really care about the situation or if you'd rather pick up a game that has free DLC throughout its lifespan. Another game that is on everybody's radar is Cyberpunk 2077, and there is news now that the game is now playable from beginning to end in terms of its story. So producer Richard Borzymowski, I think I'm saying his last name right, he explained that the game story is complete from the beginning to the end, and now all they really need to do is work out the bugs, add in some assets, and then play test it, and then they can go from there. We still obviously don't have a release date for this game. It probably won't be coming out till the next generations of consoles, but it is a game that everybody is hyped about, everybody is looking forward to, including myself. And it's good to know that the story is done, completed from beginning to the end, and I'm really excited to see what this story is all about, and hopefully we get a release date for this game soon. So if you're fans of Red Faction Guerrilla, you'll obviously were excited when they released the remastered version. So it's the remastered version of the game because it was a very well received game when it first came out on the Xbox 360 and on the PlayStation 3, and it's a third-person style of game with a destructible environment, and you're just kind of causing chaos. And it is actually a pretty fun game from the little bit amount of it that I have played. I haven't played through the entire game, but it looks like fans of the game have seen icons for the Nintendo Switch controllers within the remastered version on other platforms. Now this could mean that we are getting the game for the Nintendo Switch. It hasn't been confirmed, and they could have just programmed those in just in case they wanted to bring it out in the future. We don't know, but I really do hope that they do bring this game out for the Nintendo Switch, because if I'm going to play this game all the way through, it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. I would love to have that style of game on the go, and obviously they will be able to make it work well on the Switch because of how old it is, and even if the remaster isn't as good, just having that game on the go for me is something that I would love to pick up. Let me know if you've played this game before, and if you've played the remastered version of it. Let me know what you think about the game, if it is a game that you think I should be picking up and trying out. So there's a pretty interesting rumor going around. Apparently it looks like there was a leaked picture. We're not sure if this picture is real or not, but it was a leaked picture of a potential Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Switch bundle. And what makes this unique isn't that it just comes with the game, but it comes with custom controllers for Super Smash Bros. And a custom dock with the Super Smash Bros. Characters on it, and it looks really cool, to be honest. It's something that if I didn't have any Nintendo Switch, I would definitely hold out and wait to get that. But this is just a rumor. This comes from Reddit, where someone posted a picture of it. They found it on a French forum or something, and we don't know if this is real, if this is just somebody playing a trick on everyone, or if this was a legitimate leak. But honestly, it makes complete sense. Why wouldn't Nintendo release a bundle with this game when the game comes out? Because it is going to be the biggest game for the Nintendo Switch, probably the biggest game for the Nintendo Switch of its entire life cycle. I know that's a huge claim, but I mean, it's one of the biggest Nintendo games out there that everybody loves, whether they're casual gamers or they're hardcore gamers. It doesn't really matter. So I think this is real personally, and Nintendo obviously hasn't announced yet, and we will probably hear more about it soon because the game does come out this year. So that's pretty exciting. I really hope that they do sell that dock, or they do sell those JoyCons separately, because I would like to get those, and I already have a Switch, so I obviously won't be purchasing the bundle. Let me know if you think this is real, what you think about the picture, and if you would pick this up if it does come out. Sticking on Nintendo for my last two topics, so there was a Nindies showcase that was announced for August 28th. If you remember, this week there was already an Indie showcase, but that really came by surprise, and it was like at 5 a.m. Eastern time. Nobody knew about it, and they showed off, I think they showed off games that were already announced, or the games that we've already heard of, I believe. And in this one on the 28th, they said it will be brand new Nindies games, so that will be very cool to see. Nintendo is really supporting independent studios and indies on their console, and there are so many good independent games on the Nintendo Switch. It has been amazing for that, because there are games that are independent from independent studios that really play like AAA, great, awesome games. So I'm excited to see this. Let me know if you guys will be watching the Indie Showcase on August 28th. Now, this next story happened at the end of last week. I didn't talk about it, I didn't bring it up, because I wasn't really sure how I felt about it, and pretty much everybody jumped on the bandwagon on YouTube talking about it as soon as it occurred. But it was that tweet from Marcus Sellers saying that Nintendo will be releasing an improved version of the Nintendo Switch in early 2019. The console will have 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of internal storage, and dynamic scaling up to 4K. Some third-party games will only release on this version, and all Nintendo produced games will release on both. Now, this is kind of a hot topic in the gaming community. There were a lot of people who saw this and were upset because they purchased obviously the original Nintendo Switch, and they may have just purchased it recently, and reading of this will be coming out in early 2019, so probably around March. Would really piss people off, especially if they just bought the console. Then you had the other side of people that were like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense, I'm happy this is happening, it'll be great to get a powered up Nintendo Switch. And then you got the third party who thinks this is a big lie and that Marcus Sellers is a fraud and he always makes up these things. Personally, I don't know enough about Marcus Sellers. I know that he has broken a lot of stories and a lot of things in the gaming world, and I know that he has been wrong on a lot of things as well from everything that I've been reading. But I think that this, personally, I think this makes sense. I think that they will eventually be releasing an upgraded Nintendo Switch. The only thing I don't think that makes a lot of sense is them releasing in early 2019, especially if they were releasing Super Smash Bros. In the holiday season. So they're gonna, and that's a console that's gonna sell like hotcakes. Tons of people are gonna be picking that up. Then to go out in a few months later and release an upgraded Switch to piss everybody off doesn't make much sense to me. I could see them doing this maybe in 2020, but in early 2019, I don't really see it. And the specs that with the 8 GB of RAM, the 120 GB of internal storage, and dynamic scaling up to 4K makes a lot of sense. The scaling up to 4K means it won't obviously play in native 4K. I mean, the Xbox One S scales up to 4K, and that's not a very powerful console. So the fact that it's scaling up to 4K, obviously when it's docked, makes complete sense, and that they could release a console like that for the Nintendo Switch. So I do believe that this will eventually be coming out, but I don't think it will be coming out in early 2019. I would love to know in the comments below if you guys believe this, and if you think Nintendo will be releasing this upgraded Nintendo Switch in early 2019, if they will be releasing it later on, or if they won't be releasing it at all. So that is This Week in Gaming. Let me know in the comments below, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you enjoy this style with the gameplay, or if you rather have the Sunday show be me in front of the camera. Let me know what you think about any of the stories I talked about. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I will catch you in the next video.